Evening. Who's doing a little bit of stretching and rolling on Friday night? I hope I'm not alone. Seeing as I found a very awesome playlist, Pilates at its finest. It's definitely not a Pilates class, so don't hold me on that. Oh, the good news is though, I've set my camera up okay, so my head's in shot, that's a good sign. And you should be able to see me on the floor as well. I'll just bear in mind I need to stay at the back end of my mat. But if it's just me, I'll have a stretch on my own. Who's doing what then? Have we had any good days? I'm just going to rearrange my mat a touch. Just allow me to move back a fraction. Cool. Oh, one person. Who is it? Who have I got? Who's with me? I'm staying hydrated with coffee. Probably not the best thing going. Come on, whoever you are, let yourself be known. Who are you? Have you done stretch and roll with me before? Let me know that as well. Hey, it's Han. How are you doing? It's me and you. So if at the moment, if you want to keep me entertained, that's fine. I'll just hold a few stretches. Oh, 2 people. We're not alone. Even done my hair. I've done my hair and I've coloured my eyebrows in. Sorry hair, they're falling into group trying to find... No. I think you need to put that into a different context, don't you? A boob band friend. As in like you're starting a rock band. Hey, the Bizzle's in the house. With the hip movements. That's the best you're getting out of me. Is that a hip action? Is that on a par with what you can do, Jane? I don't know. This is not exactly a typical start to a stretch or Pilates style class, is it now? Sorry. Skelly, are you stretching with us? Or are you just checking? What is that? Oh, I'm looking at my playback. That's not bad. Maybe I could shabam. Not with a cup of coffee in my hand. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's my... You've made me say it, Jane. Fantastic. Got 6 people, this is good. Still got a few minutes. Thumbs up from the Bizzle. I take it we're still running, so we need to sort our legs out. It seems to be the end of the week thing to do, isn't it? We've put so many miles or kilometres, depends on what you do it. Oh, Scale, I'm sure you have. You've been working hard, so you know a good old stretch will allow you to relax and set yourself up for a Friday night. You could just stay here for the bants if you want to. Oh, I've lost everybody. We're back down to 3. Never mind. What we got on the time? Oh, 1 more minute. Well, I've finished my coffee in that time now. Anna's just killed you with a push press thing. It's good. I'm covering up a body today. Actually covering up a body. Nice one, Scale. Well, if you want to hang about, you're more than welcome to. Can't say I can tell many jokes in a stretch class, but I'll try my best. Should we put a bit of music on? I found a Pilates playlist. Not that this is Pilates, I must stress, I'm not Pilates trained, but there may be elements of Pilates and yoga, but we'll call it stretch. So let's see what Pilates music could sound like. Thanks, you're welcome, Scale, you're welcome. If you want to chip in with some gems of a joke, go for it. I love jokes. Let's do it then. This one's called Early Spring. So we're going to start from the top up and we're going to work our way down. My hands will probably go out of camera, but don't worry, they'll just be up above my head. Okay, so all I want you to do, I want you to reach all the way up to the ceiling. Oh, I've got a really short top by the look of it. Bracing my core nice and tight. And then relax your arms down. What I will do is I'll take my thumbs out of my sleeves and maybe that'll keep my top down. We'll see. So stretch all the way up. Oh no, that didn't work. And then relax your arms down. So nice and controlled movement, so just flowing. We're going to do, as always, a top to bottom stretch out. We're even going to stretch our heads out, guys, but controlled. Anything to do with your neck, don't go 100 miles an hour. If you're a gritter, back off. Relax your arms down. And some controlled shoulder rolls. So get your shoulders nice and smooth, backwards. And then bring them forwards. From there, again, nice and controlled backward movements. I'm going to tap my arms a little bit wider, just to get a bigger circle. So do what you got to. Not going to take them too wide, because I've got a door behind me. Bring them forwards, smooth movements. Can you feel your shoulders clunking? Hopefully not. From there, I'm going to go side on, just to allow me to take my arms all the way up, and then all the way forward again. So just forward and backwards, get it behind, and then all the way up. I'm trying not to tilt my body forward, so I'm going to take my arms as far behind me, but without turning too much or hinging at the hip. Feel a little bit in your triceps as you do that, just a touch in between the upper back and shoulders. Nice smooth movements. And then from there, if you want to loosen it up a little bit more, then you can just swing them and cross them over. So just slow swing and cross over. So I'm taking my right arm under my left and then bringing it out and then swapping. Right arm over. Good. Nice big movements. And then from there, just relax the arms, get a little bit of a twist through the torso, and let your arms swing nice and carefully. Again, depends on where you are as to how vigorous you move. It's just slowly unwinding shoulders and back. Okay, right. Bring your arms up to shoulder height, bend at the elbows. Just take your feet just a fraction outside of hip distance, only a fraction, and then turn to look behind you. Hold the stretch once you're there. Feel it in that shoulder, should be a bit of a pinch in the shoulder. And then relax and come back to the front, and then go over the other side, so turn. Keeping your arms more or less at shoulder height, and turning your head as well to look at that far elbow. Come back to the front, do exactly the same thing again. So I'm twisting, I'm looking for that elbow. Are we skipping to the next track or not? Change over. Is it going to leave us in suspense? There we are. Come back to the front, open your arms nice and wide. So nice and wide, and then just relax them down. So take them up, wide, and then relax down from there. Nice and carefully. So what I want you to do is take them wide, and then just slowly dive down towards the ground. Nice and controlled on the way back up. Taking the arms wide again, flowing movements. Bring them together and reach down to the ground. Okay, from here, take one arm across the face of the body, just bring hand across the forearm and pull it in towards your chest. If you want to make that stretch a little bit deeper, hook it onto your elbow and then just squeeze like you're doing a bicep curl on this one arm. Feel it in the top of the shoulder there. Relax that arm down, controlled, and then change sides. So I'm not putting this forearm on the elbow, otherwise I'll be putting that elbow lock on myself. So across my forearm. And then relax the arm out from there. We're going to do that a couple of times each. So change back to the original arm. And with each time you do it, switch over. you should hopefully feel it get a little bit easier and loosen up a little bit more. With all the stretches, just go to the point you can feel it, not to the point of pain. Relax and change sides, one more time on each side. Shake it off and then change. All good there. Okay, relax those arms off, just a few controlled shoulder rolls backwards and then a few forwards. Triceps, so take one arm to the ceiling, place the fingertips between the shoulder blades, hold onto the elbow and just pull it in towards you. Feel the release down the back of that arm there. So that's your tricep. And if you can, just creep your fingertips a little bit lower down between the shoulder blades. Relax that one off and then change sides. Now I can feel like my left side, oh that's a good one in the bicep, is tighter than the right. So we do that a couple of times, relax the arms off and then change. Tend to do a lot of focus on stretching the lower body. We don't always stretch out the upper body quite as much. Change sides. So it's good to have the opportunity to give the shoulders and the back a little bit of a stretch out, just like we would do with our lower body. That bicep's not happy. Right, switch back to the original arm again, last time round of each, sticking with the triceps. Go wide and then change. And then relax those arms down a little bit. Just carefully, you can just rotate the wrists a touch. Do a little bit of a forearm release in a minute. So what you're going to do, take one arm out in front of you, fingertips down towards the floor, hold on to the front there and slowly bring that towards you, just slowly, not too much. Again, we're not putting wrist locks on, just going to give ourselves a chance to release the wrist as well as the forearm as well. So not too much pressure. Once you've done that, relax that one off and then change sides. And then relax off. Change back to the original one as well. Again, like I said, any of the stretches, you should feel a stretch, not pain. If it's painful, don't do it. Or if it's painful, back off a little bit. Relax and change sides. Feel that in the forearm as well as at the wrist too. Relax that off. Take your arms wide behind you, loop, and then just push back and down, pulling your shoulder blades together. So back and down, pulling the shoulder blades together. And then just relax it. So you can relax it so it sits basically on your butt, and then do it again, so engage the muscles. Knees stay soft. And then relax. Do that a couple more times. So push away, get the tension. And then relax and do it again. Relax those arms. So just get that flow going, just to release the shoulders again. A little bit through the torso. Just to loosen up. From there, loop and push your heels of your hands away from you. Just drop your chin to chest and push the forearms away. So release shoulders and chest. We're going to release a little bit of back now. From there, just relax your arms. If you had your right hand behind your left one, switch it over, push away. And then relax. From here, all you're going to do, cross your arms over and just slowly take it up overhead as best you can. You should feel that running all the way down back, triceps, and running again, lats and traps. Relax it off so you can unwind the arms and change it over. So if you had your right arm over your left, try putting your left arm over your right, it might completely confuse you, and do exactly the same again. If you're not sure which one you did, don't worry about it, just give it a go. And then relax. Okay, give those shoulders a bit of a roll again. Going to work on our neck again. We need to be very careful when we're working on our necks, so please don't go overboard. All you're going to do, just start nice and carefully. This one's quite simple. We're just going to look right and left. So look to your left, and then slowly look to your right. Again, range of movement, everyone's different, so if your muscles are really tight, you might not even get level to your shoulder. Obviously your head shouldn't spin around 360 degrees if that happens. Yeah, I ain't got much to say about that, but again, you may not be able to get it so you're looking directly in line with your shoulder. That's okay. From there, look to the front, and all I want you to do is just basically tilt your ear towards your shoulder and then change sides. Don't bring your shoulder to meet your ears, just nice and controlled. We're not going to put any pressure on our heads at the moment, just nice and controlled. Feel it running down the side of your neck, and then stay central, look down and then look up. So look down and look up. Relax, so just slowly shrug your shoulders up and down again. So shoulders up and then back down again. How are we feeling with that? Okay, right, we're going to come down to the ground now. So if you get yourself down to the ground, all I want you to do is you're going to get onto your knees, take your hands behind you and just push your arms away. So still going to incorporate the back a little bit and chest and shoulders, but we're going to just change the range of movement in a minute. So what I want you to do is drop your chest down and try and take your arms a little bit higher. So drop your chest down and bring your arms a little bit higher. I can feel that releasing my triceps and a little bit in my shoulders and my upper back as well. I'm not resting my head on the floor. Relax those arms and then just put your hands underneath your shoulders. From there, all I want you to do is get into the plank position, and we're just going to slowly get edge our body weight forwards and push your body weight back. So we're moving on our tiptoes, pushing our body weight forward and pushing our heels towards the back. So just slow little bit of a movement. Again, it's good. Gets the core activated as well, but we're getting a little bit of release in our calves, and our forearms are touched too. Just slow, controlled movements. You can do this on your knees if you want to. You won't get the release in your calves, but you'll be working on the forearms a touch. Right, from there, all I want you to do, you're going to walk your feet in a little bit, keep your hands flat on the floor, and just walk your feet into a point where your heels are almost on the floor or completely on the floor, okay? So either heels close to the floor or on the floor. You may have to reposition your hands, but I'm getting the release in my calves. Now from here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly lift and lower my heels. So lift and lower my heels. It's going to get a little bit of quad activation. I'm feeling my shoulders, but again, it's in my calves. In my calves. Slow, controlled movements. And then from there, both feet down, walk your feet back into plank, tricep dip down so you're flat on the floor, and then release the toes and push yourself all the way back into child's pose, just to give those shoulders a little bit of a chance to recover after holding our body weight. Now you should get a nice activation through the shoulders again from the child's pose. Your palms are flat on the floor, and all I'm going to do, I'm just slowly changing my weight from one side. So I'm just twisting a touch through my shoulders, and I'm putting more forearm down on my left side, and then all I do is slowly I change. I've got more of my forearm down on my right side. So just slowly switching my weight from one side to the other, and you'll feel it more in the one shoulder that your forearm's down on, and then switching sides from there. And then I'm going to go back to central, but I'm going to walk my fingertips a little bit further forward so I can get both of my forearms down now. Right, now slowly from here on, going to do, be a little bit more upright for this one. So to begin with, some of you are really flexible, okay? I'm going to put my feet flat again. I'm just going to reach behind me a touch. So I'm going to put my weight towards the back. If you have the flexibility to literally lie down, go for it. I've never had that range of flexibility, and I think if I end up on my back, I'm not going anywhere. So it might not be 45 minutes of stretch, it could be like 4 days of stretch until somebody finds me. So walk your fingertips backwards to the point that either you're flat, don't do it if you can't, or until you feel the activation in your quads. Also you're going to feel some of it at the top or the front of that foot, and touching to the hip flexors too. I'd love to know how many of you can get flat. I can't. From there, slowly get yourself back up, and then just release so your toes are back underneath you. Push so you're flat on your toes now, so push so you're in that position now. And all I want you to do, you're going to rock slowly into that front position and then onto your toes. So slow, controlled rocking movements. Brace your core. Again, you're going to feel this a little bit in the shin and the calves, but control it. Good bit of a warm up as well as getting the core activated as well. Push the knees wide and you'll get a little bit more out of the hip flexors. From there, keep the hands down, walk out into that long length of the plank, and all I want you to do is you're going to take one leg forward so it's in line with your forearm. You can either drop the other knee down to the ground, or you can stay with the whole length of the leg, okay? Do what you got to do. And then from there, I'm just going to pop the chest up, okay? So I'm popping my chest up, putting more downward pressure, and I can feel it release into that hip flexor. And I'm going to take my hands back down. Nice one, Romina. I hope you managed to get out of that position as well though. Right, from there, I'm going to turn to face the side that my knee is up. So I'm going to turn into it. Fingertips all the way to the ceiling. Again, nice big opening stretch. Hip flexor and also back again. Bring that hand back down and then take that foot back, okay? From there, bring your other leg through. Again, you can either drop this knee down to the ground if you want to, or you can stay up. And then from there, you're going to get into that more upright position, okay? Getting a little bit more out to that hip flexor. If you want to drop that knee, drop it. Do what you've got to do. Feeling it in my glutes as well. From there, hands go down. I'm going to turn towards the knee that I've got raised, so apologies for me turning my back to you. Reach to the fingertips. And then slowly bring that hand back down again. Okay, bring that back. So you're back into that plank position for me. And we'll we're going to do a little bit more opening of the hips. So drop to your knees, give yourself a second. I'm going to face you guys now. From here we do a lot opening the hips. Again, legs take a massive big battering. So what I like to do, and I do like doing this stretch a lot because it doesn't just stretch off one part of the leg, it stretches off a whole bunch of them. So hands under shoulders, jump or step your feet out, entirely up to you, and then just get upright for me. So get as upright as you can and only go as wide as you can. Don't feel like you've got to be competitive or anything like this. This is your body, these are your stretches. So just get to the point that you feel comfortable at. And then from there, all we're going to do is we're going to slowly try and get our legs a touch wider. So you can put your hands down to the ground, lift your toes off the floor and just shuffle your heels. That may allow you a little bit more opening of the hips. Don't get to the point where it's too much and you think you're going to tear something. And then from there, I'm going to get upright again, okay? Again, some of you may be able to do the splits. If you can do the splits, do it. I can't. Now at the moment I can feel I'm loading my right side more than my left. So I'm going to put my hands back down. I'm going to bring my feet in a little bit narrower. So I'm going to take a little bit of the stretch away just so I can then go to the one side. So I'm going to try and drop my chest as close to that leg as I possibly can, and I'm really feeling it in the back of that hamstring. Both hamstrings are working, but the side I'm tilting towards is getting a bigger stretch. Once you've done the one side, shuffle yourself over to the other. Back to the front and just hold it there. It does feel good to have a good old stretch out, okay? So I hope you are getting the benefits out of this. I know it is a little bit time consuming, and if you're used to the fast and the furious of your classes that you think, oh, why? But if you want to get the most out of your training and keep your body in check, it's so important. Right, I'd love to attempt a backward roll, but I'm not going to do that because I'll go through the glass windows. So, what we're going to do now, and I absolutely hate it, but it's so good for the hip flexors. You're going to drop down, take your knees wide, and I might actually lose my head off camera. So, what I'll do is I'll set you up and then I might go for a side profile. That would be lovely. Feet are nice and wide, and put your feet, oh, that's lovely, facing away from you. Okay, that's really going to open up the hip flexors. I can feel that already. Now I'm going to stay upright. I'm feeling it in my hips. So what I want you to do, if it's too much, then just push your body weight forward a little bit. Okay, and then when you feel a little bit more confident and comfortable and you've eased into it, push your butt towards the back. Oh, that is lovely. Not. But I found by being a little bit more consistent with my stretching, I'm recovering a whole lot better. I haven't got the aches and pains that I used to, and I'm benefiting more in my training as well. So as much as we moan about it, it's so valuable. Push your body weight forward a touch. Now from there, just take one leg out to the side and point your toes towards the ceiling. I used to do this one in judo all the time. Now all I'm going to do, I'm just going to pivot over and push through to the other side. I'm actually on my toes, okay? You do what's comfortable for you. So I've got a nice long length of the leg. Try saying that after a few drinks. Toes pointing towards the ceiling and I'm sitting into it. So I'm not putting anything else, so I'm not pushing down with my hand, I'm just using the weight of my leg to feel the hamstrings release. Use your hands, help yourself over to the other side. It's like Spider-Man. It's like my dad's having a roam around the living room. Nice and carefully, help yourself over to the other side as well. Now if you want get a little bit more out of this stretch as well, we can stretch off our calves. So I'm going to get myself over to the other side. I'm going to hold on my toes and I'm going to pull my toes towards me a little bit. So as well as getting my hamstrings stretched out, I can give my calves a little bit of a release too. My other hand's just there for support. If it all goes wrong, I've got something to help me out. And then again, change to the other side and grab those toes. Part and part really, so we've done upper body for the first 15, lower body for the second 15, and anyone who's hanging about, you get to roll around on the floor with the foam roller for the last 15. Right, back to the centre. Take your feet out nice and wide again. Let's see, after warming up our hamstrings, if you can get any lower into the stretch. Don't force it, so don't force it. Use your hands there for support. Got a little bit more length out of my legs after doing that. It's all good for range of movement, so if you're into your combat, obviously by relaxing and stretching out your hamstrings, you can have a better capability of doing those kicks. Right, I'm going to slowly walk my feet back underneath me. Well, when I say underneath me, just hip distance, and I'm going to sit into that low squat. Lift my chest, and I'm going to put palms together, and I'm going to drive my elbows into my knees, just to open them up a little bit more. It's up to you how deep you sit into this squat. You haven't got to sit as low as me. If you want to sit a little bit higher and don't put your hands together, that's fine. Just hold this position and really feel it in my hip flexors. I'm just going to slowly just move from side to side, just to touch, just to give them a little bit more mobility and open them up a touch deeper. From there, slowly bring those feet in a little bit narrower and run the fingers up the shins, up the thighs until you're back to standing. Last couple, and then we're getting the rollers out. Hold on to your shin, knees together, push your hip forwards. It's like muscle memory this, your combat finishing stance. If you wanted to, you could put one arm out directly to the side of you, on your hip, do whatever you want to, just try and maintain your balance. Once you're done on one side, change over. From there, foot down, take the other leg behind, ITB stretch. Nice big reach, pushing your hip to the side. Feel the release down the side of the body. I haven't done that one for a while. Ooh. Slowly lift up, unwind, change legs. Same on the other side. And then unwind. Push the heels of your hands overhead just to get that last little release out of the whole body. And then guys, if you aren't hanging around for the foam roller, have a very pleasant Friday night. As always, any feedback, positive, negative or indifferent, pop it in the comments below. And if you are hanging about, get yourself a little bit of water and then we'll get rolling on the foam roller next. Oh, right. Because we've done quite a bit of upper body, we'll continue to stretch out upper body and again bring it back down to lower body too. So it's quite a lot of the same stuff, there's nothing really new you can do, but we'll give it a go. So, what you're going to do to begin with, just below the armpit, pop that roller, this is where you're going to hit your lats. So, oh, that's a good one. All I'm doing is I'm just pushing my chest forward and away from it. So I'm just pivoting forward and backwards. If I want to add a little bit more, I'm just going to lift that arm up and bring it in front of me and overhead. slowly, there we go, roll it. If you find a point where there's a little bit more pressure, then stay on it. Again, just tilt in and away from it. And again, you can either lift and just get that range of movement with the arm. Again, if you get to the point where it's painful, don't force it. Stay on that point and hopefully you'll get the release. When you get the release, you can again just increase that range of movement until the pressure ceases and you've worked through that knot. So just finding that out there, that's alright, isn't it? Okay, I'm not going to spend too long on each one because you'll get bored. But you guys, if you need to work a little bit more on one side, please do so. And don't think that this is it, you know, you've got to keep on top of this. I'm going to change sides. Oh. Right, so just checking the other side out, there we go. Now how many of you are really good at getting the foam rollers out, or do you tend to leave it until you're in such a state that you really just despise the thing? I was one of those people, but I got to the point now where this foam roller isn't my worst enemy. It's actually okay. Nice one, John. Nice one, Romina. Glad it was some use to you. So from there, I'm going to lie on my back, but I'm going to leave it on my shoulders. Okay? I'm going to lift my hips off the floor, and I'm just carefully going to roll forwards and backwards. Done this a few times with you now, so just remember, all I'm doing is I'm trying to find potentially a knot, and then I'm just slowly working from side to side. Again, you may have seen the group do quite some really good useful information posts and the videos that are going out working different parts of the body, so it's well worth trawling through it again to find a few bits and pieces to help you out. I actually don't mind rolling my back out, to be honest, it's quite a nice one. My neck, I've done this, we've done this a million times, and we cannot stress how important it is. Do not put body weight on your neck. Use it as a pillow. It's quite comfortable, to be honest. I'd be quite happy just to stay here for a bit. And all I'm doing is I'm just letting no more pressure than my actual head's weight, which can be quite heavy. And I'm just going to look left and right slowly. And slowly. So my left side is a little bit tighter than my right. Don't bridge, do not bridge. That's actually quite pleasant. It's when we get to our legs, that's when we have less fun with these things. So slowly put your hands on the floor and use that to sit yourself up. Don't bridge off the thing. Brilliant, no problem Nick and no problem Jane. Right, calves. Runners' nightmares are calves. Again, people that end up with shin splints and all sorts, it's not always the shin that's the problem, it could be tight calves. So a good one is just to be mindful of stretching out. Some of the stretches we covered, body weight was good to release calves, but on the foam roller, what you can do again is just work. I tend to work on the end of the foam roller when I'm working my calves, so I can either work both at the same time, or it allows me a little bit better range of movement for me personally. But put it wherever it's comfortable for you. Then all I do is I'm just going to turn my feet away from each other. I'm just going to roll up just above the back of my knee and then back down. And then when I get back down, I'm going to point my toes towards the ceiling and do exactly the same again. And then when I get back down, I'm going to turn so my feet are facing towards each other and then back down. If I find that they're really sore, I'll work them out one at a time, just to again give me a bit of range of movement. But if they're not in too bad a nick, then I can tend to do them both at the same time. Again, the best thing you can do is literally just rest your leg on there. You'll find different points of maybe pressure. If you find one's really tight, then work on it. Don't just go, oh that hurt, and move away from it. Find that point, stay on it, and again you can do all sorts of different things. If it's so painful, just with the one leg's weight on it, I wouldn't suggest you put both legs on it, okay? Support yourself so you're grounded. But if it's a niggle, but you can put body weight on it, then you can by all means go for it. You know your own body, so go by how it feels. Knees are always one that gets me as well, so I tend to like to put the foam roller at the back of my knee, and again, just carefully rotating my foot away and towards me. So they are great devices, don't get me wrong. When you're in a state you absolutely hate them because they are painful, but they're painful because your body needed a little bit more TLC into that state. So we're all our own worst enemy on that. Hamstrings, another good one. Again, you can just use the length of it from the back of the knee, not definitely the back of the knee, just above it, all the way up to the glute. And again, glutes are great as well. Glutes tend to be knotted like you would not believe. So you can sit on the things. If you find something like a golf ball is stuck there, it's a knot. So all you need to do is sit on it. And then again, you've got a nice release of either extending or bringing the knee back in towards you. So there's loads of different things you can do with them. Again, all of our stretches classes, if you stretch and roll, you get pretty much the same information. If you're struggling with anything in particular, the best thing you can do is drop a comment in the group and we'll try and answer them and be more tailored, specific towards it. Okay? Well then guys, I hope you have a very pleasant Friday night, whatever you're getting up to. Enjoy it. Looks like it's sunny out there. If it's takeaway night, enjoy that. And I hopefully you're thoroughly stretched out and relaxed to kick off your Saturday. No lives tomorrow, but you've got lives on Sunday. I might put a workout in there tomorrow for you. We tend to tag team it, so you either get me or Boss's Saturday morning workout. But whatever you're doing, stay safe, enjoy it, and we'll catch you Sunday and next week.